Excuse me? Malik's voice is steady, but his chest tightens. Karen leans back in her chair, crossing her arms, smirking. You heard me. Go back to Africa. The words land like a slap. The cafe air thickens. Conversations die mid-sentence. A spoon clinks against porcelain, then stillness. A man near the counter stiffens, glancing toward Malik, then away. A young barista freezes, fingers gripping the register. A phone screen glows. Someone's recording. More follow. Malik exhales, his jaw tightening. Say it again. Karen's smirk grows. She leans forward, relishing the attention. Go back to Africa. A sharp gasp. A woman murmurs, "Oh my God." But not everyone reacts. A couple in the corner continues sipping their lattes. Karen's friend chuckles under her breath. Malik's pulse pounds. He's been here before. Different words, different faces, same hatred. But this time, he won't let it slide. The room is a battlefield of silence. A mother hushes her curious daughter, eyes darting nervously between Malik and Karen. The girl whispers, "Why is that lady so mean?" A businessman clears his throat, pretending to check his watch. A group of teenagers at the corner booth exchange glances, their phones subtly angled toward the scene. The cafe manager, a middle-aged man with graying hair, shifts uncomfortably. His lips part, but no words come. Karen's friend bites back a grin, amused. And Malik, he stands alone in the center of it all, every stare pressing against him, waiting. Malik's fingers curl into fists at his sides. Memories rush in, being told to ignore it, to stay quiet, to be the bigger person. The teacher who brushed off the slur in middle school. The job interview where his name suddenly became hard to pronounce. The date who joked, "You're so well-spoken for a black guy." He's swallowed these words for years, not today. He meets Karen's eyes, voice controlled but razor sharp. "You have no idea who you're talking to." Karen scoffs, flicking her hair. "Oh, please." But something in Malik's stare shifts the energy. The tension isn't just his, it belongs to the entire room now. Even the barista stops pretending to work. A pause stretches between them, thick and heavy. Karen expected silence, submission. She gets neither. Karen's grin falters. Her friend shifts uncomfortably. Maybe we should go." She wasn't expecting this, wasn't expecting people to actually care. The cafe manager swallows hard. If he steps in now, he chooses a side. Karen glances at the phones raised, recording. For the first time, uncertainty flickers behind her eyes. She opens her mouth, but Malik is already a step ahead. His voice, calm but deliberate. "Say it again." Karen stiffens. For the first time, she hesitates. The balance of power is shifting, and she feels it. Malik inhales, steadying himself. The air is charged, electric with possibility. And then, a flicker, a memory. The first time he heard those words, he was 8. Standing on the playground, a boy twice his size, sneering, "You don't belong here." The teacher didn't punish him, just said, "Ignore it." He did, for years, but not today. His eyes refocus, his breathing evens. Karen is still there, still waiting. But Malik isn't that boy anymore. This time, he fights back. And this time, the world is watching. "Welcome to the United States," the officer says, stamping Malik's passport. He steps off the plane, inhaling the crisp air. A new beginning. A new challenge. His heart pounds, not from fear, but excitement. Growing up in Ghana, he had mastered languages the way others mastered breathing. French, German, Arabic, English, words were his world. France had tested him. Germany refined him. And now, America, the land of opportunity. Here, merit matters. Intelligence speaks louder than anything else. He grips the strap of his worn leather briefcase, stepping forward with purpose. He has everything he needs, or so he thinks. "Wow, your English is amazing." Malik forces a polite smile. "Thank you. Where did you learn it?" The man chuckles, as if Malik's fluency is some unexpected party trick. This isn't new, it never is. 6 languages, countless achievements, yet always this: the backhanded compliments, the doubtful glances, the constant need to prove himself. You must be the exception. He nods, as if it doesn't sting, as if it's not exhausting, as if he doesn't already know that no matter how many degrees he earns, some people will always see him as someone who doesn't quite belong. Malik sits across from the interviewer, back straight, hands folded. His resume is a testament to his dedication. Top universities, research publications, years of experience. The woman scans his credentials, nodding. Impressive. Then she tilts her head. Your English is great. Where did you really learn it? Silence. For a second, Malik forgets how to breathe. He has heard this before, but here, in an academic institution that claims to value intellect over everything else, his grip tightens on the chair's armrest. He could educate her. He could let it go. Either way, the insult lingers, sharp and unspoken. Malik exhales slowly. He's been here before. He lifts his chin, voice even. English is one of my first languages. I've spoken it my entire life. The interviewer smiles, oblivious. That's wonderful. You're very articulate. He knows she means well. He also knows what she doesn't say. I didn't expect you to be. His fingers press into his resume, but he keeps his expression composed. He has spent a lifetime mastering restraint. He answers her next question, but his mind is elsewhere. The realization is clearer than ever. No matter how high he climbs, the weight of proof is always on his shoulders. The scene blurs. We're back in the café. Karen's insult still hangs in the air. Malik steps inside, the warmth of the café a sharp contrast to the cold stares. He nods politely at the barista. Good morning? Her gaze lingers, expression unreadable. But when the man behind him enters, her face brightens. Hey there, the usual? Malik shifts, used to this subtle rejection. Not today, he reminds himself. Don't overthink it. He exhales, stepping toward the counter. He's been in this country long enough to recognize the signs. A glance too long, a greeting withheld, a hesitation before taking his order. He lets it slide. For now. Malik finds a seat near the window, pulling out his book. A peaceful morning. At least, that's the plan. Laughter erupts from a nearby table. Sharp, mocking. Karen leans in, voice low but intentional. Why do they even let him in here? His grip tightens around the pages. He's heard worse, but something about her tone, about the way her friends stifle giggles, sneaking glances in his direction, makes his stomach coil. He keeps his focus on the words before him. This is nothing new, but patience has its limits. And today, he is wearing thin. 15 minutes, no coffee. Malik watches as customers come and go, their orders placed after his, yet delivered without delay. He steps to the counter, voice calm. Excuse me, I ordered a latte about 15 minutes ago. The barista barely glances up. I'll get to it. Another minute. Another sip, taken by someone who arrived long after him. He clears his throat. Are you sure you didn't forget? This time, she meets his eyes, irritation flickering. You people always demand things. Silence. The weight of her words hangs between them. Karen's laughter slices through the moment. They always play the victim. A slow burn spreads through Malik's chest. The urge to let it go battles against the need to stand his ground. His jaw tightens. His pulse quickens. Every instinct tells him to respond, to call out the disrespect, to demand the same courtesy as everyone else. But he hesitates. He knows how this plays out. If he speaks up, he's too sensitive. If he gets upset, he's angry. If he pushes back, he's aggressive. His fingers press into the counter, but his voice stays even. I'll wait. The barista smirks, returning to her work without urgency. Karen leans back in her chair, eyes glinting with satisfaction. Malik exhales, not because he's backing down, because he's choosing his moment, and it's coming. Malik brings the cup to his lips, but the moment the liquid touches his tongue, he knows. Wrong again. He exhales, setting it down. He's been through this before, but today, he decides to speak up. "Excuse me, I think there's a mistake. I ordered a latte." The barista barely glances his way, already turning to the next customer. Before she can respond, a loud sigh slices through the cafe. "Oh my God, just take it." Malik turns. A woman with bleached hair and an oversized designer purse rolls her eyes dramatically. "It's free, isn't it?" she sneers, voice laced with mockery. A few chuckles drift through the air. Malik's fingers tighten around the cup. He forces his voice to remain calm. "No, I paid for a latte." Karen smirks, tapping her manicured nails against the table. "And yet, here you are, complaining." Malik glances toward the counter. The manager's right there, watching. Their eyes meet for a fleeting second. Malik silently asks for intervention. Nothing. The manager shifts, pretends to adjust the napkins, deliberately avoiding the situation. The message couldn't be clearer. Malik is on his own. Karen, emboldened by the silence, leans back. "Honestly, just take the coffee, or is even free stuff not good enough?" The barista says nothing. The customers say nothing. No one wants to get involved. The air thickens, pressing against Malik's skin. And then Karen smirks again. The next words cut sharper than the first. "Maybe you don't understand English." The cafe stills. Conversations falter. A hush spreads like a slow-moving tide. Malik doesn't blink, doesn't breathe. Karen tilts her head, faux innocence dripping from her voice. "Do you even belong here?" A knot forms in Malik's chest. Not from shock, he's heard worse, but from the sheer casual cruelty. He places the cup on the counter, his movements deliberate. "I ordered a latte." His voice is steady, controlled. Karen scoffs, exaggerated. "And I said, maybe you didn't understand. Want me to say it slower?" A few uncomfortable shifts. A man near the window clears his throat, but no one speaks. Malik grips the edge of the counter, his pulse loud in his ears. Every fiber in his body tells him to walk away. But today, something feels different. Karen leans forward, smug. "People like you always act so entitled, it's embarrassing." Malik exhales through his nose. Not today. He lifts his gaze, meeting hers. And then, she says it. Karen's smirk deepens. Her voice drips with mock sweetness. "Go back to Africa." A sharp inhale ripples through the cafe. A few gasps. Someone at the back mutters, "Whoa." A woman discreetly lifts her phone, recording. Malik doesn't move, doesn't flinch. He lets the words settle, lets their weight fill the space between them. Karen watches him, waiting, expecting anger, a reaction. The barista avoids eye contact. The manager still says nothing. A man near the sugar station shakes his head but stays silent. A young woman glances at Malik, her lips parting like she wants to say something. But she doesn't. He's alone in the noise. But Malik doesn't look away. He lets Karen sit in the heaviness of her own words. The confidence in her smirk wavers, just slightly. And then he speaks. His voice is dangerously calm. "Excuse me." Karen shifts, a flicker of hesitation. The cafe holds its breath. For the first time, she isn't so sure of herself. Malik takes a slow step forward, his gaze unwavering. "Say that again." And just like that, the balance shifts. Malik's voice cuts through the heavy silence. "Say that again." Karen falters, but the smirk stays. "You heard me." He steps forward, steady. "I did. I just want to make sure everyone else did too." A few heads turn. Someone clears their throat. The weight of Karen's words lingers in the air, pressing down on every witness. Malik's voice remains calm, deliberate. "So, that's it? That's your argument? I don't belong here?" Karen scoffs. "Oh, don't play the victim. You people are always looking for something to complain about." His jaw tightens. "You people?" A murmur ripples through the cafe. A man near the door shifts uncomfortably. A woman at a corner table whispers to her friend. Karen shrugs. "I'm just saying what everyone's thinking." Malik exhales slowly. Number. You're saying what you think you can get away with. Karen's eyes narrow. Oh, please. Don't try to make this some big deal. It's a coffee, not a revolution. Malik tilts his head, measuring his words. It was never about the coffee. A few murmurs. A shift in the air. Someone behind the counter glances at the manager, waiting. Still, no intervention. Karen rolls her eyes. You love this, don't you? Playing the oppressed card, acting like the world is out to get you. Malik lets out a dry chuckle. The world? Number just people like you. The cafe remains silent, tension crackling like static. A woman near the register shakes her head. This is getting uncomfortable. Karen scoffs. Oh, now it's uncomfortable. But it wasn't when I was the one being insulted? A shift. A hesitation. The first sign that not everyone is on her side. Malik notices, and he's not done. Malik breathes in, steady. Let me ask you something. Since you assume I don't belong here, what exactly makes you belong? Karen crosses her arms. I don't need to prove anything to you. But I do, right? His tone is even, but his eyes burn. You hear an accent, see a face that doesn't look like yours, and suddenly I'm the outsider? She shrugs. I'm just saying, this is America. We speak English here. Malik smiles, slow and knowing. Funny you say that. He clears his throat. Then, in flawless French, Est-ce que cela signifie que les Français ne sont pas les bienvenus ici non plus? A few heads snap up. A man near the door raises an eyebrow. Before Karen can recover, he switches to Spanish. Oh, los hispanohablantes, tampoco? Then Arabic, then Mandarin. Each phrase lands like a hammer, shattering every assumption she had. Karen blinks, caught off guard. A customer near the back mutters, Damn, that's impressive. Malik leans in slightly. So, tell me, Karen, how many languages do you speak? Silence. The cafe holds its breath. Karen opens her mouth, then closes it. The weight of Malik's words settles like a stone in her chest. The quiet hum of the espresso machine suddenly feels too loud. A man near the sugar station murmurs, That was incredible. The woman recording lowers her phone just slightly. Even the barista, who had stayed silent, looked at Malik with something close to admiration. Karen shifts in her seat. For the first time, she looks small. Malik doesn't gloat, don't smirk. He just waits, letting the silence work in his favor. Karen swallows. That doesn't mean... A voice from the back cuts her off. Just stop, lady. And just like that, the shift becomes undeniable. A low chuckle spreads through the cafe. A few nods. Someone claps just once. Karen stiffens. Oh, so now this is funny? A woman near the window shrugs. A little. The barista, silent until now, finally speaks. Honestly, he's got a point. Karen's face reddens. You're all just going to side with him? Malik shakes his head. No one had to pick sides, Karen. You did that the moment you tried to define who belongs. A few customers murmur in agreement. The tension shifts, no longer pressing against Malik's chest, but against Karen's. She looks around, searching for an ally. Finding none, someone behind her snickers. Guess you weren't expecting that. Karen glares, standing abruptly. You're all ridiculous. Malik simply exhales. I didn't have to prove myself to you, but I did, and look where that got you. Her lip twitches. The fight is slipping from her grasp, and she knows it. Karen's gaze flickers to the cafe manager, a last hope. She straightens, voice sharp. Are you seriously letting this happen? The manager sighs, rubbing his temples. Karen, just let it go. Her mouth falls open. Are you kidding me? Malik folds his arms. Strange, isn't it? How quickly the room feels different when the power shifts. The manager doesn't meet Karen's eyes. The customers aren't on her side. And Karen, she's running out of ground to stand on. She scoffs, shaking her head. Unbelievable. Malik tilts his head. You were so confident a minute ago. What changed? Her fingers curl into fists. She has nothing left to say. But Malik isn't finished yet. Malik steps forward, his voice even. You tried to define me, to make me smaller. But words have power, Karen, and today they worked against you. Karen scoffs. Whatever. Enjoy your little moment. Malik smirks. I already have. Laughter ripples through the café, not mocking, just amused, relieved, like everyone is glad to see the script flipped. Karen grabs her purse, muttering under her breath. She turns toward the door, but before she leaves, she hears Malik one last time. One more thing. She pauses. He lifts his coffee cup. This? Still isn't what I ordered. A burst of laughter follows her as she storms out. And Malik? He takes his seat, back straight, head high. Because today, he didn't just win. He changed the room. A sharp slap echoes through the cafe, someone's cup hitting the table. This is disgusting. The voice belongs to an older man near the window, his face twisted in anger. Eyes dart to him, then back to Karen, whose confidence wavers. A woman shakes her head. I should have spoken up sooner. Someone near the register murmurs, Yeah, this isn't okay. Karen grips her bag, shifting uncomfortably. The weight of judgment presses against her, suffocating. For the first time, she isn't the one controlling the narrative. And the realization lands hard. A woman turns, her voice sharp. And you just let this happen? The cafe manager swallows hard, eyes darting to the floor. I didn't know what to do. You let her spew hate while you stood there. The woman crosses her arms. You had a choice. Malik watches, arms folded. The power shift is undeniable. The manager's voice is small. I'm so sorry. But apologies now won't change what's already happened. Karen glares at him, betrayal flickering across her face. Oh, so now you care? But the crowd isn't looking at him anymore. They're looking at her. Karen shrinks in her seat, her earlier smugness evaporating. Phones are out, cameras rolling. The internet doesn't forget. Someone chuckles. She really thought she'd get away with it. The manager stammers again. Look, let's just calm down. But the damage is done. Karen forces a laugh, but it falls flat. Oh, come on, this is ridiculous. No one is laughing with her. She glances around, searching for an ally, finding none. The silence is deafening, and the realization sets in. This time, she's the one being judged. Malik exhales, then speaks. Fluent, precise. French, Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin. Each language flows effortlessly, dismantling every false assumption Karen built her confidence on. The cafe watches, enthralled. Click, record, post. TikTok is flooded within seconds. Karen's expression twists, realizing this isn't just a moment, it's a reckoning. Malik straightens his shoulders. Ignorance is loud, but the truth echoes. And with that, he turns, walking out. Dignity intact. Karen wakes up to chaos. Her phone won't stop buzzing. Notifications stacked in the thousands. Racist Karen is everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, memes, reaction videos, news reports. Her name, forever linked to this moment. Meanwhile, Malik's inbox is a flood of support. Job offers, speaking invitations, a chance to turn pain into power. Justice isn't just served in a courtroom. Sometimes it's served in proving them wrong. Have you ever been judged for who you are? The question lingers. Have you ever been in Malik's shoes, faced discrimination, stood against hate? A pause, a moment to reflect. What would you have done? What will you do next time? Your voice matters. Share your thoughts in the comments. A call to action, simple, direct. And if you believe in stories that spark change, like, subscribe, and stay with us for more. The discussion isn't over. It's just beginning. Hate is loud, but intelligence, a beat, a moment of clarity. Intelligence speaks louder than ignorance. And with that, the story lingers, long after the screen fades to black.